Okay, hi, I'm Juan Salazar and I'm the editor of Dataconomy.com. I'm sitting with Katharine Jarmul, Pythonista, data lover, and co-author of the book Data Wrangling with Python. Welcome, Katharine.
Thanks.
I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is quite straightforward. What did you present at Data Natives yesterday?
So I had a workshop and it was called Learning Python with Data Analysis. And we went into kind of like why Python, basic Python data types, basic Python programming flow. And from there, we kind of started diving into the libraries that you use for data analysis in Python, like pandas, and a little bit on visualization with Python data.
That's great. I actually heard very, very good feedback from the workshop, so congratulations.
I had a lot of fun.
General question. When and why did you start learning programming languages, or specifically Python?
Yeah, so growing up, I was really good at math. I didn't have a lot of exposure to computers, more of the math side. I went and studied a little bit of computer science in school, and then I was unfortunately like one of very, very few women in my program, and it was a bad cultural fit. And so I left computer programming for years, for about 5 or 6 years. And I came back in slowly, and I was working at the Washington Post at the time as a journalist. And I started learning Python because they did Python there.
Wow.
And I was just amazed. It kind of all came back, and it was a really welcoming community, and the mixture was just, I never left.
That's great. It's of course a little bit shocking to hear that you dropped off of learning something that was interesting for you in the first place because of the lack of representation.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of a silver lining though, because you went and started working somewhere else where you kind of found a fit. And it's good that you mentioned that, because I wanted to get a little bit into your background, which I think is very interesting. You have extensive experience in journalism and in media, and also as an educator, as we know because of the workshop. How has your work experience in major outlets such as the Washington Post and the USA Today helped you become a better data scientist or a data analyst?
Yeah, so I think like essentially journalism is data analysis to a certain degree. You could make that argument. And so for me, when I was doing journalism, a lot of it was data collection and a little bit of this data wrangling. How do we process the data and analyze it in a way to tell a story? And I feel like also the storytelling aspect is really important. Even if you're just a data person, I think you have to be a storyteller.
Definitely.
And I think that transitioned really well, because I can easily communicate with non-technical people about what the data is saying. And that's part of why I love teaching both technical and non-technical people, and teaching the non-technical people maybe the data and statistics side, and teaching the technical people more of the storytelling side.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point that has been touched upon in this day of the conference by Kim Nilsson, for example, and Elena Range, who talked about just how important it is to be able to communicate what you're doing, especially to people who are not in data science, who do not understand the concepts. Which brings me to my next question. Which tools and skills do you think are absolutely necessary for those of us who work with huge amounts of data, who work as data analysts or data scientists?
So I mean, it's hard to say any tools or really even any skills, because I think the industry is actually changing a lot right now.
Okay.
And I think teams are starting to become more divided. So you may have teams now that didn't look like anything before. You might have a few academics who have studied machine learning. Then maybe you have a few data engineers who are doing essentially the workflow management. And then you might have the actual programmers or data scientists that are kind of the go-between of those two. So I do feel like it's hard to describe any one set. I would say that the biggest thing is being a critical thinker and kind of being able to challenge your own assumptions. Okay. Is something that I look for in any team I work with, and that I try to challenge myself on too, because we have these like implicit biases, or these like cognitive biases and cultural biases, all of these things that we bring. And the more that influences our analysis, and the more that we're unaware of it, we can actually be like really harmful to not only the end result but society, right? So.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. I don't think there's a specific skill set that every person who works with data analysis or with data science needs. So, yeah, you're right. Going a little bit away from data science as a whole, what kind of work do you do with Kajamistan?
So like German Kajamistan and like American Kajamistan.
Okay. Said both, like wasn't sure.
Yeah. So I work primarily now as basically a data consultant and analyst. So I work with either different data teams that are already integrated data teams, and I'm helping them with a particular area that they need my help with, or maybe I'm helping a team that doesn't have a data team get the analysis that they need.
Okay.
Or I'm doing maybe a little bit of a mixture of both and prototyping on a new idea that the engineering team doesn't have resources to do.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun because I get to work on a lot of different projects with different clients, and hopefully growing and hiring a few more analysts soon.
You definitely get to exercise all your data analysis muscles, I see, you work with Kajamistan or Kajamistan. Which types of data do you enjoy working with the most? Which methods of data analysis do you spend most of your personal time working with?
So like everyone, I spend most of my time cleaning data or pre-processing or wrangling or munging, whatever you want to call it. I have learned to kind of like embrace it. I feel like it's like a new zen for me of just, this is going to be a part of my life. And I've actually become quite passionate about the fact that I've given a few talks recently about the fact that it seems that the academic, the study of this processing is actually light years ahead of kind of what we're doing on a daily basis.
Okay.
And I'm really passionate about kind of changing that and starting to say like, okay, why don't we implement these things? People are using machine learning, people are using crowdsourcing to do really intelligent things in terms of data processing. And for example, the speaker today talking about Google allowing all of us as the users to do some of their data processing, yeah. And that will be life changing for a lot of people. So I think that that's an important part to talk about.
Sort of a synthesis of your actual work versus what your work kind of you would look like, what you would like it to be, sort of?
Yeah, so it's like, why can we not apply, we're intelligent data people, like why can we not apply some of the same concepts we do to our data to actually our work?
Our work, yeah.
So it's a little bit meta, but it's the idea of, can we use machine learning to make cleaning of data, parsing of data, pre-processing of data easier? Can we build models that like automatically recognize things? And some of also my passion of this is because I really like and am interested in natural language processing, and it's inherently really messy. So yeah.
Okay, final question. Why did you decide to join Data Natives? What are you, if you're looking forward to anything specific, what is it?
Yeah, I think it was just really interesting because I feel like there's a lot of people with a lot of different backgrounds here. So you have people that are kind of more the business mindset, and how are they applying this data in terms of the products that they're using or how they're advertising. And then you have, academics presenting kind of their research, and then you have more people in my field, which are kind of the go-in-between of the data engineers. So I just think whenever you have a group of that different mixed types of people, you have really interesting conversations.
Yeah, the very cliched food for thought.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for taking the time, Katharine.
Thank you.
Awesome, that was easy.